So for this week's podcast, going to talk about possible late trade moves for your Vikings squad. 3 guys that's been circulating within Vikings Nation of interest, one of which that I've discussed on a previous podcast, but no problem talking about it again. We're going to start with Desmond King, cornerback from the LA Chargers. Not going to lie, folks, I struggle with this one a little bit because on one hand, the guy's super young. He just finished his 3rd year in the league. He's 25 years old, slot cornerback, and the year before last, 2018, first team All-Pro. It's pretty fucking great. And when you think about the Mike Zimmer defense, you can see how he can do a pretty good job, I would say, of replacing Mackenzie Alexander now that he's gone to the Cincinnati Bengals. He can serve as an additional linebacker in nickel packages. He can also serve in blitz packages. He can really get after the passer and collect a couple of sack numbers. So that's pretty good. However, when you think about the 2019 Vikings cornerbacks, what we so desperately needed, what we really need help with compared to last year moving into 2020 is pass coverage. And so when you look at the numbers of Desmond King in 2018, the catch percentage allowed, according to Pro Football Reference, among all qualified defenders in the NFL, so first being the worst, Desmond King was 53rd overall, so not bad. 7th among cornerbacks, so 7th worst among cornerbacks. So not great, but certainly not terrible. You compare that to 2019, he went from 53rd overall to 12th worst in the league. Worst among cornerbacks. Worse than Xavier Rhodes. So we really need help in pass coverage. And so maybe it was just a down year, but that was just really bad. And I just don't know. And who knows? Maybe a change of scenery can help him. Or you combine that with the fact that Mike Zimmer, who may be the best coach in the league at developing cornerbacks, maybe this could be a good situation for Desmond King. Also, if the rumors are true that the Chargers are down to trade Desmond King for a Riley Reef to play left tackle, then you know what? Frees up some cap space, and it frees up the green light opportunity for an Ezra Cleveland to start week 1. So you got to kind of weigh the pros and cons with that. And I don't care what no one says. I think Ezra Cleveland is ready to start week 1 based on the film that I've seen. The flip side is the cornerbacks, as it stands right now, is kind of crowded. When you think about Holton Hill, outside cornerback, he's going to be a key piece for this Vikings defense moving forward. They just drafted Jeff Gladney in the 1st round, who to me, I think is better suited at the next level in the slot role. He can certainly play slot or outside, but I think he's going to be better suited at slot corner in nickel packages. And to me, Mike Hughes, he's the guy that's on not the bubble as far as potentially not making the roster. Obviously, he's going to make the roster in 2020. But as far as a bubble year, as far as if the Vikings are going to commit to this guy beyond the 2020 season, are they going to want to go ahead and replace him with someone else? That's the guy. So if it was just, and also Chris Boyd is there, but if it was just those 3 main guys, Jeff Gladney, Holton Hill, and Mike Hughes, you can see where you can say, okay, you know what? Holton Hill's outside. Jeff Gladney is outside or slot, and wherever Jeff Gladney is, Mike Hughes, he'll play the opposite. You can see how that works and then maybe battle it out with Desmond King. But the Cam Dantzler factor, who can fucking play. They did not draft this guy out of Mississippi State in the 3rd round just to be some guy. This guy can play. I am a huge Cam Dantzler stan, and I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks about it. The second I can get this dude's jersey, I'm going to go ahead and get it. He is going to be a key piece for the Vikings defense moving forward. So because of that logjam, where is the opportunity? Cam Dantzler is going to eventually be opposite starter outside with Holton Hill. Jeff Gladney, that puts him at the slot. And who knows? Mike Zimmer may go ahead and put him outside. We'll see how it plays out. I've seen a couple of takes. Maybe he'll play slot. A couple of takes. Maybe he'll play outside. We'll see how it works out. Where is the room for a Desmond King to shine? I think he has a lot to offer for the Mike Zimmer defense. I think just right now, it's just poor timing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Next, we're going to move to Joe Thuney, guard from the New England Patriots. Now, this is a no-brainer. There is absolutely zero risk with this move and all upside, assuming you are able to make this move happen. Joe Thuney is an all-around superior blocker, both in pass protection and in run blocking, would be a massive upgrade over Pat Elflein. Left guard was the biggest weakness on the Vikings offensive line last year. You have to replace Pat Elflein. Pat Elflein is done. I don't care if you trade him, you cut him, or he sits on the bench. He cannot start in 2020. So that would be a great upgrade. Now, even if you're not to trade for Joe Thuney, then you can Brett Jones would still be an upgrade, a significant upgrade over Pat Elflein at left guard. And then at right guard, assuming that you're not able to sign Josh Klein, bring him back, assuming that he's not still pissed off with the team after cutting him. You're going to sit here and talk to me about a pay cut after I had a great year for you guys? What is happening right now? So assuming you're not able to bring Josh Klein back, is going to be one of, at right guard, one of either Drew Samia or Oli Udoh, who basically you both redshirted up until week 17 against the Bears. Both had some nice moments, but really in a game that didn't really matter. But as far as their development, go for it. There's a difference between that and then saying, oh man, one of these guys, they're going to be ready for all 16 games next year in 2020 as a starter. I'm not saying that it can't happen. And coming out of Oklahoma last year, I said, yo, Drew Samia, the nastiness that he brings to the table, he could be a true tone setter for the Vikings offensive line. So right now it's all hype. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope it happens. I love Drew Samia. I predicted that he was going to be Mr. Mankato last year. I'm rooting for the guy. It's just, I just have to see it first. And lastly, the last guy in Vikings Nation that's been brought up as far as a possible Vikings trade is Jamal Adams, safety from the New York Jets. Arguably the best safety in the league. No one's disputing that. And I've seen this on Vikings Nation, Vikings Twitter, a couple of podcasts. Oh, the Vikings, should they trade for Jamal Adams? In which case, it's like, it doesn't make any sense at all to me because, and listen, for everyone out there that's like, hey, Randy, bro, you need to do more videos. Do video. If I really wanted to, I would do videos every day. It would definitely help the channel grow, but I'm all about quality over quantity. Why? Because during this time, during the regular season, I do it 3 times a week. Off season, I do it at least once. And then if some breaking news happens, then I'll go ahead and do another podcast that week. But during this time, the off season, and you've talked about everything that you truly care about, and then you eventually got to scratch and claw for some bullshit, even if you don't believe in it. So I have to be invested in the topic that I'm putting out there for you guys to listen to. But my God, Jamal Adams, he wants to get traded from the New York Jets. The Vikings, they should trade from him. It makes zero fucking sense unless you're unable to come up with a long-term extension for Anthony Harris. And you combine that. Only if you combine that with Anthony Barr. Send him to the Jets. But guess what? The Jets, after Anthony Barr reneged on his deal back in the offseason heading into the 2019 season, so that was the 2019 offseason, to say he reneged on his deal, the Jets probably want no parts of Anthony Barr. So it just makes no sense to do it. So out of all the 3 guys that I talked about, Desmond King, Joe Thuney, and Jamal Adams, the one that makes the most sense is Joe Thuney. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. We do this at least once a week. Mediocre at Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check me out on Twitter at realistic_Randy. Facebook at Realistic Randy. Oh my God, ESPN just released their rankings of all the greatest defensive lines in NFL history. And the Purple People Eaters were ranked 22nd. Let's react to it. I don't give a shit about power rankings, bro. We'll see you next time.